Welcome all my dear student of first year BSc. Today in this lecture we are going to see about internal energy of a system, then internal energy as a state function, after then first law of thermodynamics, and in first law of thermodynamics we are going to see statements, then limitation significance and limitations. Okay. Now, internal energy of a system. In this point, we should know that matter is made up of small molecules. Matter is made up of small molecules like this. Kinetic energy of these molecules depends upon temperature of the substance, and potential energy depends on the distance between molecules as well as the force of attraction between them. Okay? What I say? Matter is made up of small molecules, and kinetic energy of these molecules depends on temperature of the substance, and potential energy depends on the distance between the molecules and force of attraction between the molecules. Total kinetic energy of all molecules, total kinetic energy of all molecules is called internal kinetic energy. Total kinetic energy of all molecules is called internal kinetic energy of the substance. Similarly, the total potential energy of the gas molecules is called internal potential energy of the substance. And the sum of internal kinetic energy of the molecules of the substance and internal potential energy of the substance is known as internal energy. Okay? Then what is internal energy? Internal energy is nothing but the sum of internal potential energy and internal kinetic energy of the substance. Okay. Remember that the internal energy is directly proportional to absolute temperature of the substance. This is very important. Internal energy of the substance is directly proportional to the absolute temperature of the substance. But in practice, it is not possible to measure the total internal energy of a system in a given state. What I say? In practice, it is not possible to measure the total internal energy of a system in a given state or any given state. Only change in its value can be measured. Only change in its value, that means change in internal energy or value of change in internal energy can be measured. If the state of the system is changed from initial state 1 to final state 2 by supplying heat Q to the system, and W is the work done by the system during the change, then increase in internal energy, that is U2 minus U1, where U2 is internal energy in state 2 and U1 is internal energy in state 1, and this is nothing but Q minus W, where Q is amount of heat supplied to the system and W is the work done by the system during the change. Okay. In this way, we can measure the change in internal energy, though it is not possible to measure the total internal energy of the system in any given state, but we can measure the change, we can measure the value of change of internal energy when state of the system is changes from initial state 1 to final state 2. Okay. This is about internal energy. Now, next point, before that, I would like to tell you that the internal energy of a perfect or ideal gas is depend on temperature only. This is very important. The internal energy of a perfect gas or ideal gas is depends on temperature only, whereas that of real gas, it is a function of both temperature and volume. You should keep this in your mind, that the internal energy of a perfect gas or ideal gas is depends upon temperature only, whereas for real gas, it is the function of both temperature and volume. Okay. Now, next point, internal energy as a state function. Internal energy as a state function. Now, in this point, P and V. Along y-axis we are going to consider pressure, and along x-axis we are going to consider volume. Now, suppose Q is the heat supplied to a thermodynamic substance forming a thermodynamic state. Q is the heat supplied to thermodynamic substance forming a thermodynamic state. Forming a thermodynamic system. W is the work done on the substance in taking system from initial state 1 to final state 2. Okay. Then increase in internal energy of thermodynamic substance can be given by using first law of thermodynamics, that is U2 minus U1 is equal to Q minus W. This is obviously first law of thermodynamics, where U1 is internal energy of the system in state 1 and U2 is the internal energy of the system in state 2. Okay. Now, graphically we can see that suppose this is initial state and this is final state. This is path A, through which state of the system from initial state 1 to final state 2 is represented by this path A. Now, if the state of the system is changed from initial state 1 to final state 2 along path A, at that time change in internal energy is given by first law of thermodynamics, U2 minus U1 is equal to Q minus W. But if we consider another path, suppose this is path B. Okay. If the system changes or state of the system changes from initial path 1 to final state 2 through another path B, then it is found that there is no change or change in internal energy is same. If we consider another path C, here also experimentally found that there is a same change in the internal energy. That means what? When state of the system changes from initial state 1 to final state 2 through different paths, then it is found that, experimentally found that the change in internal energy is same. That means what? It is independent of the path. It is dependent on the, okay. That means what? State. Therefore, we conclude that when a system changes from state 1 to or one state to another state, there is the change in internal energy of the system has the same finite value and which is independent of the path between two states. Hence, internal energy is called as state function and not path function. Are you got it? What I say, as there is no change in internal energy even though we take different path or state of the system changes from initial state to final state through different path, then it has a same finite value which is independent of the path between two states. Hence, internal energy is called as a state function and not a path function. Okay. Now, we are going to see the next point of this chapter. First law of thermodynamics. First law of thermodynamics. Joule's law. We know Joule's law. What is Joule's law? W is equal to JH, where W is work done and H is the heat. This is Joule's law. Joule's law gives the relation between work done and the heat produced. Joule's law gives the relation between work done and the heat produced. But it is true only when whole of the work done is used to produce heat or vice versa. What I say? This relation is true if and only if the whole of the work done is used in producing the heat or vice versa. Hence, W is equal to J is true when total work done is used to produce the heat. In this relation, suppose this is the relation 1. In this relation, J is Joule mechanical equivalent of heat. This is very important. J is Joule's mechanical equivalent of heat. Okay, but in actual practice, when a certain quantity of heat supplied to a system, the whole of the heat energy may not be converted into work. What I say? In actual practice, when a certain quantity of heat, suppose Q, is supplied to a system, then total or whole of the heat energy may not be converted into work. Part of the heat energy may be used in doing external work and rest of the heat might be used might be used in increasing the internal energy of the system or internal energy of the molecules. Okay. In order to understand this, what I say in actual practice, this is the Joule's relation or this is Joule's law, which gives the relation between work done and heat produced. And it is true when the whole of the work done is used in producing the heat and vice versa. And here in Joule's law, J is Joule mechanical equivalent heated, Joule's mechanical equivalent of heat. But in actual practice, when a certain quantity of heat is supplied to a system, the whole of the heat energy may not be converted into work, and part of the heat energy may be used in doing the external work, and rest of the heat energy might be used in increasing the internal energy of the molecules. Okay. Let the quantity of heat, say dQ, the quantity of heat supplied to the system be dQ. dQ is the quantity of heat supplied to a system. The amount of external work done be dW. dW is the amount of external work done. Okay. And increase in internal energy of the system is dU. U is the internal energy and dU is the increase in internal energy of the molecules of the system. The term U represents the internal energy of the gas due to molecular agitation. Molecular agitation. ॲजिटेशन इन मराठी चळवळ, मोलिक्युलची चळवळ जी होते त्याच्यामुळं इंटरनल एनर्जी प्रोड्यूस होते. आणि मी म्हणून म्हटलं द टर्म यू रिप्रेझेंट्स द इंटरनल एनर्जी ऑफ ए गॅस ड्यू टू मोलिक्युलर ॲजिटेशन as well as due to forces of the intermolecular attraction, and hence mathematically dq is equal to du plus dw. This is first law of thermodynamics. This is the mathematical relation of first law of thermodynamics. Okay. Sorry, first. Now, the amount of heat here dq is taken positive. The amount of heat dq is taken positive. Just 1 minute. Here the amount of heat dq is taken positive when if the heat supplied to the system, and dq is negative if the heat is drawn from the system or heat is removed from the system. Similarly, work done dW is positive when external work is done by the system. External work is done by the system during expansion, and work done dW is negative when work is done on the system, by the system and on the system during compression. This is very important when you are going to solve the problems. Okay. So this is very, very important. So I am again going to repeat that in this first law of thermodynamics, dq, the amount of heat, is taken as positive if heat is supplied to the system, and dq is taken as negative if heat is removed or heat is drawn from the system. Similarly, work done is positive when external work done by the system during compression, during expansion, and work done is taken as a negative if the work is done on the system in compression. Okay. So, from this, first law of thermodynamics can be stated as first law of thermodynamics, statement of first law of thermodynamics. The first law of thermodynamics states that the amount of heat said that the amount of heat, say dq, amount of heat given to a system is equal to then what is equal to increase in internal energy, and increase in internal energy of the system, and remaining part the external work done. Okay. This is a simple statement of first law of thermodynamics. This is the mathematical statement. Okay. And from this mathematical statement, we state the first law of thermodynamics like this. The first law of thermodynamics states that the amount of heat given to a system is equal to increase in internal energy of the system and external work done dW. Okay. Now, for a cyclic process like this, from state 1 A to B, path 1, and again come to original state. This is a cyclic process. In this cyclic process, the change in internal energy, of the system is 0. That is, du is equal to 0. For a cyclic change, the change in internal energy of the system is 0 because system is brought back to its original condition. Therefore, we can write from path 1 to 2 and again 2 to 1, the total change in internal energy T is equal to 0. From first law of thermodynamics, dq is equal to du plus integral dw. But here du is equal to 0, so integral dq is equal to 0 plus integral dw. And from this we conclude that q is equal to w when both the quantities heat and work done are measured in the same unit or in the unit of heat units. Okay. This is very simple mathematical statement. Now, we are going to see the significance of first law of thermodynamics. Here we are going to see at least 2 to 3 significance. The first law of thermodynamics is important because it is applicable to any process first law of thermodynamics is applicable to any process by which system undergoes a physical and chemical change. I am again going to repeat. In significance of first law of thermodynamics, the first law of thermodynamics is important because first, it is applicable to any process by which a system undergoes a physical and chemical changes. The second significance, it introduces the concept of internal energy. Due to first law of thermodynamics, we are aware about internal energy. So, second significance of first law of thermodynamics is that it introduces the concept of internal energy. And third significance, it provides method for determining the change in internal energy. Okay? So, these are, first one is applicable to any process, second significance, it introduces the concept of internal energy, and third, it provides the method for determining the change in internal energy. These are three significance. These are three importance of first law of thermodynamics. But there is a limitations also. What is the limitation? So, limitation of first law of thermodynamics the first law of thermodynamics is based on the principle of conversion of energy of a system. Most of the time we confused between first law of thermodynamics and law of conservation of energy. Law of conservation of energy. But remember that the first law of thermodynamics is based on the principle of law of conservation of energy. We know that law of conservation of energy. What is the law of conservation of energy? Energy can neither be created nor be destroyed, but it can be transferred one form to another. Okay? This is the law of conservation of energy. And first law of thermodynamics is based on the principle of law of conservation of energy. Though it is applicable to every process in nature between equilibrium state, but it does not specify the condition under which a system can use its heat energy to produce a supply of mechanical work. It also does not say how much of the heat energy can be converted into work. These are the limitations of first law of thermodynamics. Okay? In this way, we studied internal energy of a system, internal energy as a state function, then first law of thermodynamics. In first law of thermodynamics, we studied mathematical relation. Mathematically, we proved mathematically first law of thermodynamics from Joule's relation. We also studied the significance. Before that, we have seen the statements, proper statements of first law of thermodynamics, which derived from mathematical relation. Then we studied the significance of first law of thermodynamics, and lastly, limitations of first law of thermodynamics. Okay, we shall stop here. Have a good day. Thank you.